Hello, Tommy Lee Gray, now playing for Megas Alexandros in Greece. How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you been?
I'm fine, I'm fine. Yeah, tell us, how did it happen that you are playing for the Greece League?
So after last year, I finished playing with Cologne. Had a pretty solid year. Last year was a very difficult year for me personally, and I just wanted to stay home a little bit longer. I was contemplating the idea of not actually going out of America to play basketball, and I stayed home and I worked out. And around September, October, someone contacted me and they said that they saw that I wasn't on a roster anywhere and asked me if I wanted to go to Greece. And I was hesitant at first because for me, basketball normally starts around July or August when you fly out and you do the 2 or 3 weeks of training camp and then you start your season. Angelos, when he contacted me, he told me that I'd be allowed to stay home until January before I came over to Greece. And that was kind of exactly what I wanted. I just needed to spend some time with my family, spend some time with my mom and my sisters, and make sure things in my life got a little bit better. So they provided me the opportunity to like get myself in order, and then they helped me come over to Greece, and it's been a wonderful experience the whole time. I'm so happy that they found me.
So, how would you describe the Greek League?
I think the Greek league is just underdeveloped a lot. A lot of really cool guys, a lot of great individual talent. I've seen a lot of good shooters, really fast people, and some really tall people. Just not enough people to bring it all together. I think only because it's too small. Once it gets a little bit more awareness and you create 3 or 4 more teams and you make that first league bigger, maybe get a couple of more foreign people in so you can get more ideas about how to coach and how to structure your leagues. I think it will be like one of the best leagues ever. Like I love the way that they travel. I love the places and the venues are all awesome. Like everyone has a really nice gym. The Panathinaikos guys have all the support from Panathinaikos, which is awesome. It's a great EuroLeague running basketball team, and like just the history of basketball in Greece is pretty good. Um, the championship for the able bodies are awesome, so you get to see good basketball and you understand that they know good basketball. I just think they have the resources or the people yet to bring it all together, but I'm sure that they're so far on their way. I've seen a lot of new people here, more faces than I didn't recognize. I know that Zach got down to Atlas and he's been bringing in some of the culture that he's brought from UTA and Texas, and Dallas is super big for basketball in America, so his region is super big for basketball, wheelchair basketball right now. You have Paralympians Ray and Rhodes, and so like I have a Paralympian on my team, so there's 3 or 4 basketball Paralympians or former Paralympians inside the league, and so the knowledge is here, the instruction is here. Just need a little bit more resources, a little bit more time, but they're super dedicated and really ready to get better at it. And I think the league is going to be awesome.
Do you think some players are a little bit scared, like because the letters are completely different and you don't really have an image of Greek language?
I think that was one of the biggest deterrents for me. I've been to France, I've been to Germany, I've been to Italy, and I learned Spanish in high school, and then I picked up my Duolingo and I try to learn a little bit of Greek before I get here, and I know zero. I know exactly zero. It looks like a completely different language. The alphabet is completely different. Everything in Greek is completely different. But they speak English a lot. Even the signs have an English translation under the bottom, so I can understand and they understand. And basketball is a language itself, so as long as you understand basketball, you guys can correlate together. But yeah, definitely that is one of the biggest fears. That, and you don't really hear so much about Greece. You hear about Athens and about Zeus and Aphrodite and all of the gods, but you don't hear a lot of information about Greece except for the Greek freak. So I think those things are deterrents, but it shouldn't scare anyone off from coming to this place and trying to get a career, or even just trying out how it is to play basketball abroad, and then see if you like it a little bit and see if another team picks you up or if you can meet some more people. It's really, really fun time here.
You've been on really many clubs all around Europe. How would you describe your basketball journey?
My basketball journey is definitely not the journey that I wanted, but it's been definitely one of the most exciting ever. Um, I won a world championship with the U23 in 2009, and we won in Paris. So a French team offered me a job, and that was awesome because I never assumed that I played wheelchair basketball outside of America. It was always just a thing to get me through college, just a sport that helped me in high school to reconnect with people. And so getting the chance to go abroad to France was amazing. I never thought I'd have that chance. And then I got to Lake Any, and that was beautiful. And I got to play with my best friend Trayvon. I got to win a Willie Brinkman Cup, got to win the French Cup, and it was awesome. I loved that, and I got to play with some friends. I met a lot of cool people. I got to go and play with some of the best players ever. I played with Dirk Passawan, and I played with Dirk before I knew who Dirk was. So when he called me and told me to come play, I didn't expect what I expected him to be, and oh my gosh, Dirk Passawan. And then right, I got to Cologne, and that was awesome. I got to play against a lot of good people in Cologne. I made a lot of friends there, and then I got the Wiesbaden, which was awesome again. And that was like the first club that was like that felt like it could have been a long-term thing. They put me on a bus, and that was like the biggest thing of my life. I used that picture on everything, album covers, T-shirts, everything, just from like 2 seasons, and they're so cool. Mirko still talks to me this day. I share music with him. He shares ideas with me. Everyone in that organization that I met is still so cool, and like just the best friends. And then I got to go to Santa Stefano, and COVID hit, but like that was awesome because we were undefeated until COVID. And so we gave ourselves you say you won the championship. If no one beat you and you played the whole year, you're the champions. And that was awesome. But you don't count that. I go back to Wiesbaden because Italy was a little bit slower with the COVID times, and it was awesome. I met Juice, I met Chase. Like I got to play with some players that were awesome. Like again, another Paralympian, and Juice is eating in Spain right now. So that was super cool, super cool. And then I went to Porto Torres, which was super cool because that island was amazing. I met people that I would never meet again, or that I would hadn't met if I never did these things. Shot music videos, got to do like documentaries and help people with their film experiments and projects. And Porto Torres or Sardinia is beautiful. You get dolphins in August swimming across the shore. You get the sunsets, and everywhere you look is a beach, right? So that was beautiful. And then Santa Stefano again, and we actually did win. We did win our first level of Euro Cup. I think that was my first time beating Pat Anderson. Or that might have been next year in Cologne. I think we ended up beating Pat Anderson for my first time. And I say Pat Anderson because like you know the name, but he was on Bilbao, and I know that they might have been resting, not trying to take it all out because it was a Euro Cup competition. But like those are some of the milestones that you need in life. It's been an incredible journey. I've been to a lot of places. I think this is like my 7th or 8th team. Everywhere you go, you meet some people, and then you get to go to Euro Cups and you see people that you do know. I love Euro Cup a lot. It reminds me of American basketball because we usually meet like once a month and play 4 or 5 games, and then we disperse because the country's so big. So this gives me like a home feeling and a real good feeling for camaraderie. I love it.
So you met really a lot of people, all the superstars of all the leagues and all the countries who are playing like in all national teams around the world. Do you think the American community does not see what's maybe going on in Europe, or what possibilities they would have to come over?
I think the awareness isn't so high, and I do think that some of the people see a lot of the possibilities. It also seems like it could be a financial thing. The prices in America are like so much higher than everything else, and so for a team to say they can only pay you a couple $1,000 or even less than $1,000 makes it very difficult to establish a life back at home. I'm going through this struggle right now because I've been in Europe since like 2010, and an average salary in America for me should be about $45,000-$50,000 a year or euro a year, versus playing wheelchair basketball at 10 months a year at maybe $1,500 is only $15,000. And so trying to afford a house and buy a car and have a family is extremely difficult to come over here and support that way of life. But if you But if you're a younger guy, like straight out of college without a lot of financial responsibilities, or you have a supplemental income, I think it's like one of the best things in the world you could do. You can stack your bread home, come over here, learn some new stuff, and if you're an entrepreneur or have a financial mindset, you can find a way to generate some revenue to make sure that your life is great. Also, I believe in group economics too. So, like, if you have a group of people or a team of people who have a goal and they want to get to it, you can get to it. If you want to get somewhere fast, you go along. But if you want to go far, you take the group. And I think that that's one of the things that people have to understand. I think a couple of college universities in America should figure out the kids that want to come overseas, and if you can pack them much together, it'll be a wonderful experience. You can go stay with your teammate for 4 or 5 years in another country, and the finances will be okay for you for a couple of years. And it's really hard to make enough to buy a house and buy a Ferrari and things like that, but it's a wonderful way to live. It's not a lot of stress. The paychecks are consistent and you know what you get, and once you adapt to the way of life, it can be really, really cool. So I think that's probably the biggest issue for Americans, is that they all say that if I get out of college and I get a job now, I'll make about $35K a year, so I need to ask the club for about $3,500 a month so I can, and not a lot of clubs can offer you €3,000 a month.
No.
Right. So you get that a lot, and then it kind of gives me a bad feeling, because a lot of people they understand that they're good basketball players, but I can't give someone or tell them that, hey, my club will give you €3,000. But they're not Michael Jordan. That's really hard. But if you're willing to adapt, and if you're like, you can be even high maintenance. I've been really high maintenance in places. I've told them that I only want a room where I can see the ocean and I have a balcony where I can be. You know that?
No, it's okay.
And so, like, you can be super high maintenance and everything. It's all about your attitude and perception. As long as you work hard for something and you plan something diligently, you can get whatever you want. You just have to be open to the ideas of how to do it and listen to the people who came before you to help you get it. So, yeah, but I think that's probably the biggest issue with the Americans not realizing they can come over here, is that the pay scales are so different. It's like, I can earn 30,000 versus 15.
Yeah. So what would you say is, in general, like not just of America, like in general for wheelchair basketball, what is needed to make it maybe work a little bit better for us all?
Actually, I think inclusion is one of the biggest things ever. Inclusion and awareness. We need to, I understand it's wheelchair basketball, but everyone's got to be able to play. Because the reason this sport is so popular is because there's a lot of wheelchair basketball players who wanted to play basketball who could never play basketball. And by that same token, there's short Asian ladies who will never be able to dunk the ball, but they can play wheelchair basketball and they love it. There's little guys.
Are you talking about me?
Right. And there's so like the opportunity for everyone to become involved is super. And I think that inclusion and awareness are two of the biggest things that we need to make this sport grow. We need to make it where there's not so many barriers for foreign players to go to other countries. We need to make it more free flowing, like Germany has Turinga, and that thing they're starting lineups like 4 foreigners and 1 German guy. You know, and so I think that's awesome. I think that's why Germany thrives so much, because they allow so many different views to come inside. They get a different mindset. They get different business organizations and ideas, and the more different type of people you have involved in the sport, the more different type of sponsors you can find, the more different type of peoples that can gravitate to the cause, the more different type of people you can help. And so I think that's one of the biggest things for me, is always inclusion. Always make sure that everyone who wants to come and try a wheelchair, because you don't know, next week, car accident, now you have and you can go, hey, I remember 3 years ago I tried wheelchair basketball and I kind of liked it. I've seen people who didn't have anything to do, wounded warriors who didn't know what they wanted to do, and they thrive with basketball or wheelchair rugby or something like that. And I talk a lot about basketball because that's what I do, but all sports, every opportunity, everything that's beneficial to someone should be made aware to everyone, so anyone can take that opportunity if they need it. Life's about having fun and growing, and so I think we should all be growing. And also awareness, because if no one knows it exists, no one can help you. If you don't know I have a problem, you'll never ask me about my problem,
People ask you what's wrong when your face looks bad. They don't just ask you what's wrong when you're smiling. They ask you what's happy. So they're aware that you're happy. So awareness is really key. If you need something, you ask for it. If you want something, you make other people know you want this. You have to bring it, you have to manifest it, you have to do it, you have to achieve it.
How would you say did maybe all the European life, you're living in Europe for a long, long time already, so would you say they changed something in your mindset, or how did you grow in another way than you maybe have grown older in the US?
Um, Yeah, a lot of things are a lot different. I'm American by nature, and so I drive. I got a car when I was 14, 15, 16. I've been driving everywhere. I never rode a bus until I got to Europe. I mean, I rode a school bus once or twice for a couple of years in elementary school, but even in middle school, I didn't ride a bus. In high school, I didn't ride the bus. I rode the bus for maybe 2 years in elementary school. So, like, riding buses is something that changed me. Public transportation, because my town in America never had public transportation, and I always had a car, so I never took public transportation. Learning different languages is awesome. Just hearing how the words sound in different languages and learning how idiomatic phrases don't translate to different languages, or learning how the Greeks say something, and I'm on the spot now, so I can't think of one of the cool things that they say, but they say things and you're like, I would have never said it that way. But you're right, it makes total sense to say it this way. And even with Germans also, and the French also, you know. And everyone teaches you the cuss words the first week when you get here, so now I can curse in all the languages, you know. That really changed me. A lot of things that I didn't realize or know about Europe, that changed me too, because I admit, as an American, I was very closed-minded. I only knew about my neighborhood. My geography is still horrible, you know. And I never expected or wanted to leave America, because, like, if I wanted to go see mountains, I can go to Colorado. If I wanted to go to the beach, there's Florida, South Carolina, California. There's beaches. If I want to go see snow, I can go to New York and I can see snow. If I want to see something flat, I can go to the Midwest. So it was never like really a big deal for me to leave, because I traveled a lot in the States. I saw all types of topography, all types of landscapes, all types of everything. But then when you actually go out and you realize, like when I was in Lake Annie, they had a port and they called it the Miami Beach. And I went out and I was like, wow, this water is actually clearer than the water that I saw when I went to Miami. And I've been across the Mediterranean Sea, and I'm like, oh wow, this is actually really beautiful. The old architecture is like actually really beautiful. America is really new, and that's super cool, because a lot of things are a little bit more accessible. The doors are a little bit wider for wheelchairs. The rooms are a little bit bigger, and that's awesome. But like, an old church looks beautiful. If you ever walk into an old church, you can check out all the stuff that they have there, and everything. Like, and so just architecture, the way things were built, the knowledge of the past. I lived in Trier, and they told me that was the oldest city in Germany. And if you drive around, you can still see little coliseums where they had little battles. That's crazy. And it's really unique and interesting to see that history is not really that far apart, and that most places in Europe still are attached to that history, tradition, and that culture. So like, I think that's super awesome.
So, what is on your to-do list for the next few years? Maybe what are your dreams? What should happen for this community also?
For this community, I think I might be Greek for a while. My hopes for this community is that we expand our championship. I really want to expand our championship. Right now we play with 6 teams in the first level. I really love Turkey has 12 teams. I really love that France had 12 teams, and like, I think that's awesome. You just put more teams out there. Teams are usually closer now, so that makes travel costs go up, because you have to play more games. But if you have a team a little bit closer, it brings travel costs down now, because now you have to travel a little bit less. So I think that's one of the things that I look forward to seeing. I hope that they take it away that you can only have 2 foreign players here, because it's nice and it preserves the Greek basketball, but it also, I think, hinders the growth and experience, because if you could get more people here who could help coach and who can help run camps, who can help talk about their experiences outside of Greece or inside of Greece, then more people are aware, there's more situations and things that can be handled, and just more opportunity. So I think I want our league to grow here. I want to include more people
Yeah.
also, so we can include more people. Um, I want more of the levels to become more level.
Ah,
I
yeah.
don't want it to be where everyone just recognizes that Spain and Germany are the top two leagues, and you go to the Final Four. It's two Spanish teams,
Yeah.
two German teams
Yeah.
every year. So I hope that I think they call that parity or something like that happens a little bit more. I hope everyone catches up. I hope that players keep developing, bringing new styles and things to the basketball game because it's super dope. Can't wait to see the first Steph Curry in a wheelchair, even though that might be Jake already.
It will be my son. No.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. So like, I want to see that guy,
Yeah.
or someone who comes and does the things that I seen Trayvon or Brian do when I got to watch them play, or yeah. So maybe, you know, yeah. So I just wanted to grow a little bit, want more awareness. Um, yeah, more awareness, even from the regular people who are playing, and then people who aren't playing to like acknowledge the sport too. Because I played in front of a school the other day, and the little kids think it's so cool.
Yeah.
And then a lot of those parents are like, "Nah, don't worry about it. You can't play wheelchair basketball." Yeah, get an extra chair. Come play wheelchair basketball. It's a great workout. You don't have to play something professionally if you enjoy it. You can have a hobby. You can have 5 kids in a wheelchair that want to play wheelchair basketball because one day there's going to be a kid in a wheelchair who doesn't have anyone to play with and he wants to play, but then you'll have 5 kids like, hey, I did this before. We can do it this way.
Yeah.
And so I just want the awareness and the opportunities to go up, the inclusion to go up. I just want everyone to be more involved and more proud about what we have here.
Yeah, I think it's so important to have everyone involved who's like being yeah who wants to help in any ways. Like everything is important for this, and we need people to take action.
Yeah.
So I think it's really great to have you in Greece, and also like Zach and all the experienced guys around the world coming now to Greece for a small season, which might be also a really nice
Right.
point to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoy also the games, the Euro Cups.
Yes.
Do you have something you want to drop on this video? What's important to you?
Everything is pretty solid. Hi, Mom. You definitely say hi, Mom. Nah, nothing too heavy on my head right now. Just thinking a lot about basketball.
Yeah.
Hoping we play well. Hoping we place well. Hoping we finish the season strong. And yeah, just having a good time. And ready to meet some more of these people. I know a couple of the teams and a couple of the people. French teams are coming, and I played in France for about 5 years, so
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to see some guys that I know and
Speak some French.
a little bit more in the past, and I hope that I can learn it again. Like, keeps your brain sharp, you know.
Yeah.
So, but nothing heavy now. Good luck to everyone. Not so much good luck that they beat us, you know. and have a good day, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to training.
Let's get to training.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Tommy.
Thank you, Yaka. Ciao, guys.
Hey!